just one evening hunting a different part of the farm, I can't help myself and head back after the Big 7 on the morning of November 8th. My choice is a hardwood ridge where does typically bed and where bucks often cruise during the rut. It is the perfect option for a morning hunt. The ridge I choose is only 500 yards south of the house, a spot where I know the buck has been spending at least some of his time.
It's a buck, I think. It's a doe. Are you good? Yeah. There's a buck right behind it. You good? I'm on the buck right now. Guard the doe. Alright, good. What does his body look like? He's the same deer from yesterday morning. The morning started off with a bang, literally. It's pretty funny because it's the first time I've ever done this, and it's the first time I've ever seen it. I knew because of the way that we came in this morning, we messed it up. We walked too far before we cut down to the tree stand and we left scent. And I knew it was going to be a doe shooting day because I knew there was no way that we were going to get away with that. Every single doe that came through there was going to pick up our ground scent where we went through there. It was just a boneheaded mistake on my part. But so this doe stopped and there was a decent 8-pointer behind her. I think he's a 3 or 4-year-old buck. If I had to guess, I'd say he's 3. But I tried to shoot the doe and there was a little tiny fork in this tree that I had to shoot through. I mean, it was literally like that, but I mean, you can shoot an arrow through a gap that's that wide at, 5 feet in front of the bow. What I didn't account for was the fact that even though my line of sight was good, that my arrow comes out below my line of sight and just dead center smacked this branch. So the arrow is stuck in there. And there's no way I'm getting that arrow down. Every time I hunt this spot from now on, that arrow is going to be a reminder of 2 things. Don't walk in on the wrong route and leave scent in the wrong places. And 2, you better know exactly the flight path of your arrow. Your line of sight can look perfectly clear, and yet your arrow can still hit something. So I'm going to put another arrow on the bow and hopefully not have a repeat performance of that fiasco. Just a little bit after 10, and we're going to start packing up here pretty soon and do a bit of work in the office for midday and then get back out again. We heard a really impressive knockdown, drag-out fight down in the valley, and it's about probably 200 yards, 250 yards away, but the upper end of that valley is a spot that I call the tube, and I have a redneck blind down in there, So I think that's where we're going to go this afternoon. It's just a little narrow bottleneck that the deer travel between one big and beastie plot and another, and they just move up and down the valley. And that is the south end of the Big Sevens range. We've had a few pictures of him on that camera.
That same morning, 55 miles to the west, Taylor Byers is finally able to get back into the stand.
Well, it's November 8th this morning, and it's actually my first time back in the stand since November 2nd. Unfortunately, our son has had a little bit of health issues lately, and we were in the hospital from the evening of the 2nd until afternoon of the 7th, so missed out on a couple really good days of hunting, but you know, his health is kind of our number one priority, so he's doing a lot better, and now we can get back in the stand and hopefully catch up to a nice mature buck this morning. We're actually hunting on a little 6-acre piece of timber with some really, really good bedding in it. We know that there are some really nice deer in here, and hopefully we had a cold front push through yesterday, and should be a really good sit this morning. I'm pretty excited to get back after it, and we'll see what happens. Have that buck on camera. He's a nice big 8-pointer, but I mean, they didn't ever come into where I could have a shot, but we're gonna wait a little while and see what else shows up. They're definitely on their feet. Well, it's about 10:30, so kind of gonna wrap up our morning hunt. Overall, it's a really good hunt. We saw a couple different bucks and quite a few does, a lot of fawns by themselves, so I don't know if there's some lockdown action going on, but we'll be back after it this afternoon, evening, probably sit on our 2-acre plot, but we're not exactly sure yet, but we'll be somewhere.
Justin Fabian, one of our most recent employees, has put in the days required to give him the right to walk into the county recorder's office and buy an Iowa resident tag. With no private land to hunt, Justin has spent the first several weeks of the season bouncing around on 5 different tracts of public land. Justin's goal is to find a hot spot where he can focus his rut hunting effort.
I'm out here today in the public land. It's that same piece we hunted last time, Cooper and I. Third new spot that we looked into. I'm set up in this thicket that's right between this big CRP field and some standing corn over here to my east. As you can see, this is just nasty thick. There's trails all through here, rubs and scrapes everywhere. That corn's still standing and the temperature's about to drop tonight into the teens. I kind of got high hopes for this sit.
The buck Justin encounters on November 8th is enough to make his decision. This is where he plans to hunt until he either kills or the rut ends. That same evening, 45 miles to the east, Taylor Byers is hunting a very non-traditional spot, a patch of thin scrub brush near their normal hunting area.
Well, it's November 8th this evening, and we're kind of getting a late start in this spot. It's actually our second setup of the evening. It's not what we had in mind. We were actually, we went into our 2-acre field on our main farm and got all set up, and there's virtually no wind tonight, which definitely didn't play into our favor. That 2-acre plot kind of sits in a little bowl. When there's no wind, your scent just kind of lingers down there, and you know, we thought maybe we could get away with it, but we had a little yearling buck come out, and you know, he knew something was up. So if we can't fool him, we definitely are not going to fool a mature buck or doe, that's for sure. So we decided to kind of cut our losses, hurry up, pack out as fast as we could, and jump into this other really good spot that we have. So, you know, I think we're in for a really good sit tonight. We had a cold front blow in yesterday, and then we're about to, the weather forecast says we're going to get about 1.5 inches of snow this evening into tomorrow morning. So, you know, I think that the deer are definitely going to be up on their feet, and we hauled Bud in here, got set up as fast as possible, and now we wait. Hopefully we can get something done tonight.
There he is. He looks, as a shooter, Taylor, you need to rattle.
Ready?
Okay, stop. Hit him again. There he goes. Oh my God. Holy cow, Taylor. I'm talking mega giant. It's that buck that I found the sheds off of with a huge brow tine.
Shut up, really.
But
but he's a lot older and a lot bigger.
I just want to look at him through the binos. He looks like a giant.
He's huge. Just start ranging.
I am. Oh my gosh. He's got to come all the way into this clearing for me to get a shot.
I know.
He's at like 60 yards.
There he comes. Just wait. Let him come. Let him come. He'll come.
Come on in. Go down.
He's hurting bad.
Man, I'm a lot farther back than I wanted to be.
Oh my gosh, congrats, but everything happens for a reason. We weren't even gonna hunt here.
Man, everything happens for a reason. That's no joke. We were set up on our 2-acre field, and man, we weren't here, 45 minutes maybe?
That's the first
Not
deer
even.
we've seen.
First deer we've seen. It's been a ghost town. He was a good 400, almost 500 yards away, and Caleb's like, hey, there's a deer out here in the switchgrass, and sure enough, he's like, go ahead and rattle. Rattled real quick, and he came in on a string. I mean, there's a big, huge ditch he has to cross. He stopped and, tore up a couple trees, and, he did end up coming right in here, and he's pumping blood, I'm still super nervous. If you don't see that deer go down, your heart sinks. You have a million different scenarios going through your mind, and please.
Taylor and Caleb choose not to take up the blood trail immediately, as they wait with restless anticipation. Back on my farm, I head down into the redneck blind in the valley on the south end of the Big Sevens range. I have learned the hard way that the only chance we have of hunting valleys with their swirling winds is to get into a redneck blind and keep the windows shut. That is my plan for the evening.
Shoot it doe anyway. Oh, there's a bigger buck in that hill. There's gotta be something else coming too. Because he's looking back too. I guess there's an even bigger buck coming. That doe's hot. Yep, there's another buck. That's that one that was here earlier. That we figured was 6. Pretty good looking deer, really. I'm sure it's him. That's pretty cool. Uh-oh, I have to decide. Uh-oh. I think he's gonna go around on the low side. Back where we first saw him. Yeah. We're down to about the last 15 minutes here, and it's been very action-packed. I had that buck that I saw back in early October. The only other time we've sat in this blind, he came out, and I considered him to be a possible shooter at that time. He was within 50 yards tonight, and I just wasn't, I mean, obviously I'm not going to take a 50-yard shot, but I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to shoot that deer, even if he would have came right through the, this little crossing in front of me. So it was good to know, though. I mean, he's still around. He's a mature buck, fully mature. I'd say if I had to guess, I'd say he's probably 6 years old. So tomorrow, I'm not hunting. Our daughter is running college cross country, but I will be back in the woods again on Saturday. So keep checking back. I appreciate you joining me here, and we'll see you back here in a couple days.
Climbing down shortly after the shot, Taylor and Caleb slip over to where the buck disappeared, hoping to find him dead. Instead, they see him bed down nearby. Since he looks very weak, the hunters plan to come back later that evening.
Well, we just got back in here, giving this buck about 5 hours. We know it's not a good shot. We know that. It's pretty far back, and it's a pretty unique situation. I've never actually had anything like this happen. I mean, we were walking out and actually spotted this buck and saw him bed down, and so we crouched down a little bit and hung around until it was absolutely dark out, and snuck around the backside of this big open field and snuck out of here, and so hopefully he's not far from there. Is that him?
Yep.
Shut up, really?
Pretty sure.
Let's go, make sure.
Pretty sure you're right. Oh yeah, he didn't really know. It's no doubt a deer.
Are you sure? I want to see eyes.
Well, he's got his back to us.
Wow. Tagged out on November 8th. Well, here he is, and I can't tell you how excited I am for the season that we've had so far. I mean, it blows me away, and I couldn't be happier, and I'm just in shock. I can't believe last night actually came together, I mean, our family's kind of been through the ringer here lately. I mean, we had Wesleyan in August, and she was born with a couple health issues. Man, don't make me cry.
That's fine.
I don't think I can.
And yeah, so as Taylor said, and she's having a hard time getting through it, but this year's tested us, that's for sure. Wesleyan was born in August and was born with some health issues, so we've been in and out of the hospital with her, and Huxley was in the hospital from November 2nd to November 7th. There's just more important things in life when your family needs you, and that's what we did. So it's been one of those years where this one means a little bit more. That it's not just a deer. It's the fruits of our labors, and makes it all worth it. So congrats to you, and hopefully we can keep this dream season rolling. It's been a nightmare outside of the stand, but we've been fortunate enough to get a little bit of positivity from that. So it's gonna be pretty hard to top last night.
That's for sure.
Good job.
Thank you.
I'm out here today in the public land. As you can see, this is just nasty thick. There's trails all through here, rubs and scrapes everywhere. With that corn still standing and the temperature's about to drop tonight into the teens, I kind of got high hopes for this sit.
Just good deer in the green down there.
Byers remind us once again that deer hunting is not just about filling the freezer or the challenge of testing ourselves against a worthy quarry. It can be therapy for a life that sometimes beats us down. As we step our way through November, there are several stories taking shape. My hunt for the Big 7, Jared's quest to find new places to hunt during the heat of the season, Mike's pursuit of curly, and Owen's hunt for the giant-bodied buck he calls crabs. With snow rolling through the Midwest, the feeling changes. The first snow has a way of chilling us in more ways than one. It creates an uneasiness felt by both man and beast. Winter is on its way. But this is only a prelude. We still have 3 weeks of our favorite month to live and absorb. We still have 3 more weeks of chasing November.